All right, you guys. Okay, good morning. I'm so glad everyone is here today on a Friday morning. I'm gonna open it up a little bit, and you guys, I'm in Alabama, and our weather is a little bit wonky. We've got some storms and stuff coming in. So if my internet gets unstable or if I cut out, which is the thought of it is making me like sweat with anxiety, if that happens, I'm coming back. Okay. So Renee can take over for which I know makes her feel great. But I will be back. So hopefully everything will work. But I did want to get that out in the open just in case. Okay, so welcome to Coffee with Clients, and I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Stephanie. Stephanie Scotch. I live in Birmingham, Alabama. I am 43 years old. I live in Birmingham. Hold on, let me spotlight. Let me put a spotlight. I don't really like to spotlight me, but I do want you to see who's speaking. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm 43. I live in Birmingham, Alabama. I have a 17-year-old. I have been on Optavia for 4 years, and no, I have not been eating 5 fuelings every day for 4 years. I would though, because they're good. They're that good. But I've been in optimization. I've been optimizing at a healthy weight for 4 years. I lost 32 pounds, and then I hit the lovely perimenopause. Type connected in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Made some adjustments, added some protein, added in some extra fruit, added in some hormone replacement therapy, and then I went on to lose another like 20 pounds or so. So my journey on Optavia has not been just a straight downward trajectory. Okay, it's looked like this, like really like this. Okay. And y'all, my life was really messy when I started Plan. Okay. I was going through a divorce. It was like out of a Lifetime movie. I mean, it was a really messy, not fun. I mean, none of them are fun, but this one took the cake. And I was carrying around a lot of weird, crazy trauma from my childhood. And even as an adult, I always joke and say that, that country music song. And if y'all are not from, I mean, people that are not from Alabama or from the South, maybe you don't know this song, but I feel like some of you do. There's this song, I can't remember who sings it. It's an old country song. And it says, I was drunk the day my mom got out of prison. Okay. That's how my life felt. And yes. Okay. Except I wasn't drunk. I was 12. Okay. But you get the point. So we all have messy stuff, right? So if you ever come to these calls and you're thinking, gosh, that coach that's leading this call, she's got it all together. Girl, guy, whoever's here, we don't, okay? We are human. And that's why we need these calls just as much as the next person. So you will come to see, if you don't know me already, I am a fun bag of anxiety and PTSD and ADHD. So you'll see me sipping on these amino acids, the EAAs, during the call, which if y'all don't drink these amino acids, I'm not sure what you're doing in life, okay? Like these are a game changer, not only for my physical health, but my mental health. So talk to your coach about these. I drink mine every single morning. I even like to add an Ultima to mine so I get my electrolytes in too. But talk to your coach about these. Okay, so let's break the ice a little. I want you to put in the chat, what is the one fueling you absolutely hate? And what's one fueling you absolutely love? I want to see this. Like you would never live without it. Okay. I want to see these answers. These always crack me up. So mine, okay, like I'm weird. I really love all the fuelings. Okay. Except for I could do without the mac and cheese. Okay. I'm just saying. Um, brownie is number one. Okay, oatmeal, mac and cheese. Hate the mac and cheese. The mac and cheese, y'all, it's just, yeah, that seems to be a real kind of low on the totem pole for a lot of people. Mac and cheese is always the one that I hear that people are like, I could live without. And the brownie is the one where it's like, I'm having a brownie for the rest of my life till the day I die. And that's me. Love the brownie. Oh, and the pudding too, the chocolate pudding. Okay, fun. All right. Love this. Okay, so now that we feel like we know each other a little bit more, this is what I want to talk to you about today. I want to peel back the curtain. Okay. I want to have a real open conversation about the importance of staying honest when those old habits start whispering your name, because it will happen. Okay. I'm going to show you a picture that shocked me. One second. And I talked about this on a call yesterday, but let me try to share my screen 1 second. Hold on. This also makes me very anxious. Um, okay. Can y'all see this picture of me? Okay. Thanks, co-host. All right, you guys. This picture shocked me. So the picture on the left was me about 3 years ago. I had been at my goal weight for several months, probably a year. I mean, I was at my goal weight. I'm on plan. I'm getting things done. I thought I had it going on, okay? But I was not being honest with myself or my coach. And this picture here on the right was me last Friday. So there's like a clear difference there. So now I want to talk to you about what was really going on. All right, now I've got to figure out how to stop sharing. 1 second. Hold on, guys. This is killing me. I don't want to share anymore. How do I not share? Hold on, y'all. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. So here's what was really going on, okay, in that picture. I'm going to read a post that I wrote about this because I feel like that's really the best way to kind of describe it. And you may have read this, you may have seen this post. I posted it on the client page yesterday. But when looking at those two pictures, this is what was in my mind. The word shocked. That's the first word that came to mind when I saw that picture from 3 years ago. And here's the real truth. I wasn't an alcoholic, but alcohol was absolutely holding me back. I never thought I had a problem with drinking because I wasn't blacking out. I wasn't getting DUIs, right? Like I wasn't drinking all day, but I was drinking almost every night. And I convinced myself that it was fine because I was at my healthy goal weight and I was getting things done. But it wasn't just the drinking. I was still struggling with binge eating. And I'm a food addict, okay? So like that's a whole the binge eating is a whole thing. So I was still struggling with that. So between the alcohol and the binge eating, my body was so inflamed and puffy. And to be honest, I was still really tired. I was numbing myself in more ways than one, but I was pretending I had it all under control when deep down I knew I didn't. And the truth that I wasn't ready to face was that alcohol, it was keeping me stuck. And the binge eating, even though I wasn't doing it as frequently, it was still my fallback coping mechanism. It was messing with my sleep, my energy, my hormones. So last year, just on a whim, I said, you know what? I hadn't even seen that picture. Like I didn't even remember I took that picture 3 years ago, but I hated the way I was feeling. And I felt myself going back into old patterns. So I just gave up drinking one day, like one day at a time, one day at a time. I didn't have any long-term plans for it. I was just one day at a time. Okay. And the results from that decision are profound and clear. The photo on the left, I was on plan, was on plan. I was like lying to myself, I'm on plan. I was at my goal weight, but still drinking, still binging, running on poor sleep, right? I looked fine on the outside, but you guys, I was settling for good enough. So the one on Friday, the picture that I took on Friday, that's with no alcohol. Like you can tell my face is so much slimmer and my skin is brighter and my eyes are brighter. So no alcohol, I'm not binging. I'm actually sleeping again, which sleep is so important. And I'm healing in ways that I never expected. And removing alcohol was the one thing that actually helped me stop binge eating. Like, I don't even remember really the last time I binge ate. So now I'm sober, I'm sleeping, and I'm healing. And so it's just a powerful reminder that we're never done growing. Just because you hit your goal weight doesn't mean you're done. And it also doesn't mean you should just settle for good enough. And I don't share as vulnerably as I do because I want a pat on the back for me. I'm sharing it because I know that there's someone else out there where I was. And maybe you're thinking alcohol just isn't really a big deal, but deep down, you know it's keeping you from the next level. Or maybe it's something else that's not alcohol. Maybe it's another something. But if that's you, you're not alone, okay? And I want to just also share this with you guys. You, like, by me sharing that, okay, I was able to, I'm not going to name her name. She might be on here, and I love you if you are, but I do have a client who was open with me after I shared that on social media. And she was at her goal weight, but things were slipping again. And she opened up to me this week and said, "You know what? That post that you shared, it allowed me to have the courage to share with you that I'm slipping again." And that's the power of what we do, okay? So never, ever, ever hold back. If you feel like you're slipping back into those old habits, talk to your coach, be honest with yourself and be honest with your coach. So, like you see in those pictures, you know, I had been on Optavia for 3 years, but I was also at the height of my divorce and I was drinking every night and I was binge eating. And like Lauren Grossman, she's just such a cool coach on our team. She says sometimes she felt like a pantry rat. That was me. I was the pantry rat. I wasn't hungry, but I was just looking for something to fill the void and quiet the noise in my head that I didn't want to think about. Then the next day, I would wake up and my whole body would hurt and I was cranky and my clothes didn't fit right and it sucked. Okay. But I didn't see the alcohol as an issue because I was at my goal weight. Everything was fine, but really it wasn't. So I didn't make any promises to myself other than in one moment at a time. And I can say that, if you are looking at making a switch, whether it's alcohol or something else, if you're slipping back into the binge eating, just take it one day at a time, one moment at a time, one promise at a time. Because it seems overwhelming when you're like, I've got to stop this and I've got to be completely clean and sober for the rest of my life. Okay. Don't put all that pressure on yourself. Just take it one day at a time. Okay. So, clearly the real shift happened when I got honest with myself and honest with my coach. And I finally admitted this is happening. Okay. And once I admitted that, I could actually do something about it. So, how do you recognize the signs, right? The hardest part about slipping into the old habits is that it doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks in little by little, like inch by inch. And if we're not paying attention, we don't realize it until we are way off track. So let's talk about the warning signs. And I want to know if any of these sound familiar to you. And if they do, raise your hand or put it in the chat, connected. So maybe you're mindlessly snacking, like even when you're not hungry. Just that old habit of like, my witching hour is in the afternoons. I think it was from coming home from school and just grabbing a snack, like whatever's in the pantry, mindlessly, like not hungry. It was just what we did. So that's something to look at. Are you skipping fuelings because you forgot or you're too busy? Y'all, we hear that a lot. I used to say it too. I'm just so busy, 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 busy. I'm so busy, y'all. And I love you guys. But it's a lame excuse, okay? Because you are not too busy to eat a fueling. If you have time to eat Doritos, you have time to put a bar in your mouth, okay? So you didn't forget, you aren't too busy. You just chose not to do it. And that's kind of stings. Your brain went into toddler mode. We say that a lot on these calls. Like toddler mode is like, I don't want to do it. Mine does it too. I have to stop my toddler brain. When like you're telling a toddler you're going to take a nap, and they are hell bent on not taking that nap. Okay, but you know it's good for them and they need that nap. So sometimes our brains go into toddler mode and you just choose not to take your fuelings or not to eat the fueling because you just don't want to, but you say you're too busy or you forgot. Or are you justifying choices like that you know aren't going to serve you because you've had a hard day? Like, are you saying, well, I deserve this cupcake because it's been a really tough day. I had to go to court with my ex, or my kids are sick, or I lost my job. Y'all, that cupcake is not going to make any of those situations go away. And logically, we know that, right? We're like, well, no kidding. Like, this cupcake is not that powerful. It's not a magic cupcake that's going to make everything better. It's just not. It's actually going to make things worse. It's going to make things harder because you're going to feel like crap. Your clothes are not going to fit. You're going to feel bloated. You're going to feel tired. And then that's one more thing on your plate that's hard that you have to deal with. So that's one of the signs maybe you're slipping back. Another one is what are you emotionally tuning out and avoiding? So you're either turning to food, alcohol, or like scrolling on your phone just mindlessly, or watching Netflix for hours and hours and hours just because you're trying to numb the stress instead of dealing with it. And again, I used to do it too. Avoid, avoid, avoid. But you guys, when we avoid it, it grows bigger horns. Okay. So, this is the best one here. This was me for years. Okay. I'll just start again Monday. All or nothing. All or nothing mindset. Okay. Well, I've blown it. So screw it. I'm going to just start again next Monday. No, ma'am. Not anymore. Okay. We're making the next best choice 2 hours later. Not the next day, not in a few days. The quicker you can right the ship, the faster you're going to get to where you want to go. So if you go off plan, if you make the choice to go off plan for whatever reason, just 2 hours later, grab your water or your aminos, your electrolytes, grab a fueling, eat a lean and green, and just keep going. Okay, so if any of what I said hits home, I want you to take it as a sign and not shame. Okay, I don't want you to feel shameful or guilty. I just want you to take it as a sign of like, okay, I need a little wake up call, a little like inventory, okay? And see what's happening so that you can turn things around before it gets worse. Okay, so those are all great like ways to recognize what's going on, but what do you do to stop it? You're like, thanks, Steph. Like, I know what I'm doing now, but what do I do? So, when you realize you're starting to slip, these are a few things that have helped me. Number one, start tracking your food again, like on your app or on a notebook. Write it down, okay? It's whatever's going in your mouth, track it, okay? You will become so aware of what you're eating, why you're eating it, and it opens your eyes to the patterns that maybe you weren't recognizing, okay? So write it down, track it, send your food logs to your coach, keep sending your weight to your coach. That also helps you stay accountable to you. Have an SOS plan. If you feel yourself going down that slippery slope, send your coach an SOS. I tell my clients all the time, if you feel like you're getting in a pickle, you send me an SOS. You text me, you call me, because we'll walk through it. That's what we're here for, okay? Send up a flare. You've got to be honest. Got to be honest with yourself and your coach, and do not feel embarrassed because, like I said earlier, clearly coaches are human too, okay? We are all human. We've all been there. We will not judge you. We will not shame you because we know exactly where you are because we've been there. All right. And also have a plan in place where if you do feel the urge to binge or go to the alcohol or whatever your kind of coping mechanism is, mine's binging, go for a walk. Y'all, that is what I love to do. It takes your mind off of it. It gets you moving. So like put your earbuds in if you got them or whatever, if you still have like the ones with the strings, or I know they're not strings, wires, whatever. Put on your best podcast that you love, your favorite music or Audible book, and just move. Like just get out in nature and move. It will change your whole perspective. Another thing I love to do is take a hot Epsom salt bath. If you guys are not taking Epsom salt baths, if you're able to, this will make you feel so much better. You won't binge, okay? You're going to feel so relaxed and it's going to help lower your cortisol level. So if you are wound tight, if you're a type of person like me that's wound tight and super anxious, this is just going to help you feel so calm and let go of some of that stress. So the Epsom salt bath. And then the other thing is you have to lean back into structure. You just have to. And I used to fight structure tooth and nail, but it is exactly what I needed. So most of us came to this plan because we just wanted someone to tell us what to do, right? Life is chaos. Life is out of control. But we can control what goes in our mouth. Okay. And Optavia takes all the thinking out of it. So when I stopped just trying to wing it again and just got back to the basics and fueled consistently, showed up for these community support calls, and just focused on daily wins, that's when things really started to turn around really fast. And these are like my secret weapons, you guys, like practical stuff that you can keep on hand. If you don't have this Harney and Sons tea, I don't know why I waited so long to get this, but I waited entirely too long. This one is the Hot Cinnamon Sunset. If somebody can put a link to this Harney and Sons tea in the chat, that'd be awesome. You can get it like on Amazon. This will stop the craving of like I want to binge. It will stop it in its tracks. And it is so good. There are a couple out there that are not very good, so make sure you get the one that's like the cinnamony one. Oh, and then the Ascend. Okay, y'all, the Ascend Fuelings, the new ones that are double the protein. And I don't care what plan you're on. I don't care if you're on 5 and 1, 4 and 2, 3 and 3, 8 and 6. 8 and 6 is not a plan. But the point is, I don't care what plan you're on. You can fit Ascend into your plan somewhere. Talk to your coach about it. But these are double the protein. So this one specifically, I'm team brownie bar. Some people are team birthday cake, which I think is weird, but that's just me. Um, Brownie bar is so good and it takes that craving away because it does have extra protein. So like just have a bite of this or have a whole one. It's better than eating the whole cheesecake, okay? Trust me, I've done both. This one's better. So get you some Ascend and get you some Harney and Sons tea. And do not underestimate the power of accountability. That's one of the biggest mistakes we make when we start slipping. We keep it to ourselves. We tell ourselves, I'll figure it out. I don't want to bother anyone. I should be able to handle this on my own. But that's exactly how those old habits sneak in and then they start to win. So silence keeps us stuck. Stop hiding. I say it all the time. What you are hiding, you aren't healing. And y'all, I get it. I'm from Alabama. I grew up in going to a small private Christian school. And there are lots of Southern Baptists down here, and I love my Southern Baptists, okay? But y'all know it's a whole thing down here to say, I have an unspoken prayer request, okay? Why are we unspeaking it? Speak it. If you have a problem and if you are struggling with something, speak it. Speak it to your coach. You cannot heal it if you don't speak it. And y'all, I get it too. There's a lot of judgy Judys out there, so that might feel kind of weird to you right now, but it all goes back to just being honest. Being honest with yourself with what you're struggling with. Your secrets are going to keep you sick. Okay, so last thing I want to say, because I've talked entirely too much, and then I want to open it up for people to share. The people that are most successful on this plan in losing the weight and keeping it off long term are the ones who are consistent, not perfect, okay? Consistent. And the ones that are honest with themselves and their coach. So I want to turn it to you guys right now. Okay, I want you to take a second and think about like what's one habit that is maybe creeping back in for you that you need help with. Whether it's skipping meals, stress eating, drinking alcohol more often, avoiding accountability, like what is it? Because when we're aware of it, that's when we can change it. So I want everyone that wants to share something, whether you're struggling or have a question or want to celebrate something, raise your hand, come on camera and raise your hand, and we'll talk through some stuff. And if you are a coach, we say this all the time. We love you, coaches. If you have a question about like a coaching question, save it for one of our coaching calls. If you have a question as a client, then by all means come off and we'll talk through some stuff. But I want to hear from you guys now. So I'm gonna see who's gonna be the brave soul that starts. And yes, I'm gonna stop recording. Somehow. Hold on. Pause or stop. Here we go. Stop recording.